Speaking of, so I wanted to touch on this masculinity because
Yes.
I love, and this is one of the reasons that I love having you on. I think you're a very, very good articulator.
Thanks.
And a great thinker. And so I just like to I honestly just like hearing you talk about shit, just to just to see how you think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of these things is masculinity, because obviously with all the emails you get you're quite well versed in different forms of masculinity across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And as a young man myself, I think it's important to be in touch with it earlier on.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And I've had a lot of discussions about masculinity and ways that nowadays, I think there's a general, I think at times there might be a negative connotation with masculinity.
For sure.
Rightfully so, in a lot of reasons. Yeah. And so I think for you, when you think of if I tell you what is masculinity, for you, what's your definition?
God. I don't know that I feel even comfortable answering that because I can't speak to it from experience, but I don't know. I would never answer that question because I feel like I'm speaking on behalf of somebody else, but I see the ways in which it fucks men up. Liz Plank is a good person to talk about this. She wrote a book called For the Love of Men. And it's a really great book about how damaging it is. I was at a pool Williamsburg Hotel pool maybe 2 years ago with a friend, and there was this guy there with his little son who was 4. The guy was in the pool, and the son was standing in the pool with his floaties on his arms. And the dad goes, "Don't be a girl, jump in the pool." And I was like, "You motherfucker!" I'm like, "That's toxic masculinity." I know what toxic masculinity is.
We know what the toxic masculinity.
And to me, I think there's a beautiful gentleness to masculinity.
So what does that look like for you?
Patience and kindness and stoicism almost. But with leadership, I think because every person, regardless of whatever their gender is, has masculine and feminine sides to themselves. Right. And it's really fun to, as a woman, as a straight woman, I like exploring my masculine side. It's really fun. A lot of times my masculine side will come out at work.
So what's that look like?
When I'm standing up for myself, but in a way that's kind of gracious.
But wouldn't someone then argue, why do we have to say standing up for yourself would be masculine?
I think when you think of it in terms of, there's this book, the title's pretty, but what's in the book is beautiful. It's called the Getting to I Do.
Okay.
It's a great book. It's a really good book about romantic relationships, how in every couple, regardless of what gender you are, one member of the couple takes on a masculine energy mostly, and another member will take on mostly the feminine energy. Right. And by that, but you can be a man with more feminine energy. I know plenty of couples that have that as the case. It's not matched up with their actual gender. But one person kind of leads the charge in certain areas, and the other person leads the charge in other areas. It's just a yin and yang, really. But I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I got for masculinity is what toxic masculinity looks like, and how I feel little things that damage guys, and the way that the way that men can be raised as boys. And it's just, what a disservice.
What is
to think that feelings are weak?
Right.
You're gonna grow up and explode. That's terrible. It's stifle your feelings. Oh my God. And as somebody who's had my feelings stifled because I didn't even acknowledge them, because the way I was raised and the temper that's caused in me, I can't imagine it being an expectation because of my gender.
So what would healthy masculinity, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but say you're looking in terms of looking for a life partner. Yeah. Right? What, when you think
I'm definitely the feminine energy in a relationship, I think.
Okay. So then if you're looking for healthy masculinity, how do you identify that? Right. Because I think that there are people out there that
providing, a guy likes to, a man who is traditionally a masculine energy in a romantic relationship. I think providing acts of service, I love that. I think when I don't really, because it's been a while since I've been in a relationship, I don't know what that would look like. But because I think previously I would rely on it too, like I would fall into those roles too much in a way that wasn't genuine to who I actually was.
When you say providing, are we speaking strictly financially?
No, because I by the end of my relationship, I was the one who was earning more money. But that I don't equate the worth with that. I just think, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really have anything for that yet. I'm so busy pondering all this other shit that I like haven't thought about masculinity in a while. What do you think about masculinity?
That's a good question. I think that I've spent more time in general with, so my parents were divorced when I was younger, when I was like 3 or 4. And so I saw my dad every Thursday and every other weekend. So I was with my mom for the most part. And I think that she did a fantastic job of, without really telling me, showing me what a man should look like.
And what was that?
I think it kind of fell under the umbrella of taking care of women regardless of but in a way that doesn't show that I am more powerful than you.
Right, not in a condescending
and not
manner.
In a condescending way, not in a way that I'm on a pedestal, not in a way like as equals, but like in a chivalrous like this is like a woman is precious. And so one of the ways that she kind of like instilled that in me, and in a way it's costly, is like every time I'm like I don't care if obviously if it's like a romantic partner, but if it's like with my female cousin, with my best friend's girlfriend, if we're like in a setting, if we're at dinner, if it's like a one-on-one, I have to pay. That is like my mom's way. That's one of the ways that it's just like, I couldn't imagine not doing it, which is great because like all my girlfriends like, oh my God, Felix, go to dinner, I miss you.
Yeah,
free dinner. but like in a way, like I just couldn't imagine it, just because that is like a small way that I can show that. Now that's just financial. I don't want to like equate it only to financial.
Yeah.
But it's more just like, I think the way my mom kind of instilled in me is really just like making sure that I understand that men and women are equal and should be treated as such. But at the same time, making sure that like that it's my duty to take care of the women in my life. And so for me, that is like one of the ways. But I also am very, and I try to actively be like this, to never. I think there's like a stereotype of what masculinity looks like. I'm like, I'm all tough and that. I hope I don't think I come across like that. And I hate boys and men that do. Because I think that's like comes from a place of insecurity. And I think for myself, like I'm very, I can always get better at it, but I feel quite in touch with who I am. And so I think because of that, I don't need to prove to a woman anything or anyone else in general. You know what I mean?
Exist.
So it's like, that's, I think, what it means to me.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And it means something different to every person, but that's good.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram @felix.levine. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment.